Hello, women of the channel. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. Today, I have the pleasure of getting to know Charlotte Hone, head of Logitech for Business, Field Marketing Europe with Logitech. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, Jackie. Lovely to be here.
So excited to get to know you. So let's start with the icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up if that's different?
So, right now I live in London, based in central London. And I actually grew up west of London in a place called Windsor and Maidenhead. It's commonly known for where the king has his castle now. It's where the royals live. So, it's slightly different, but predominantly in the UK.
I'm really excited that I will be visiting London for the first time for Women of the Channel Europe later this year.
Great to
Yeah.
hear. So, if you need any hints and tips of where to go, where to visit,
Yeah.
to reach out.
Yeah. I would love that. All right. So, what is a little known or perhaps a fun fact that you're willing to share with all of us?
Okay, fun fact. I originally, before I came into the tech world, was a ballet dancer. So I actually thought I was going to become a full blown professional ballet dancer. I trained, I've got an A level in dance, and was really tempted to go down that route. However, I was completely torn because I also like tech, I liked business, and I was quite excited at the point of completing sort of schooling in going to advertising and marketing. So I continue to dance, but I don't do it professionally today. But I did it right up to that level. So yeah, fun fact.
That is a fun fact. And I love that you're still doing it, balancing your passions there and getting the best of both worlds. All right, Charlotte, why don't you tell us a little bit about your career path and how did you reach this amazing position?
Okay, so I actually did a sandwich degree as part of my university degree, and I started out at a company called Hitachi. They took me on for a year as part of my degree course. So I was a undergrad, I guess, going into the bid world of work. I was, like I said, really interested in technology, advertising, and it was a super interesting company because it was Japanese. So from a cultural perspective, it was all new. And that really set me up for success and really where I am today. And I'm hugely, hugely grateful for that opportunity. I'm still in contact with a lot of the guys there. And so they've really kind of paved the way, shared their knowledge, given me the great foundation to sort of launch from. And they offered me a role once I'd graduated. So I actually went back after university and worked my way up through the business. I had some really good mentors whilst I was there. But I tried everything from marketing. I supported the sales team. There was some technical bits that I got involved in. So as I kind of worked around the business, I got a really good understanding of the areas I liked, the areas that I thought would challenge me, things I perhaps didn't like. And also they were just very supportive and encouraging, I think, in terms of trial and error. So for me, that really set me up, like I said, for where I am. I've always been in technology. I've moved around different companies in the space. I've tried sort of integrators, vendors, I've tried sales, product management. But the thing that I always come back to is really marketing. And that's what I love. And it's where I am today, really. That's just it in a nutshell.
I love that you've tried so many different things, and I'm sure that only benefits you in this role today and kind of understanding the different aspects of technology.
Yeah, definitely. And I think really role models
Mm.
and managers or mentors really helps to shape where you go, what you do, and obviously give you that encouragement and confidence as you move through a business. And I think that's been really, really key in my career. People that have really backed or challenged or really got to know you and um, what really motivates you, stimulates you, and will challenge you further. And I've been very, very fortunate on that front on every job that I've held and every company I've worked at. And that's been something that I've sought out myself as well. So it's something that's a really key criteria when I've looked at roles or the companies I've joined. And it's worked out well so far.
Yeah, that's really good insight for our listeners as well. So I love that you shared that. Charlotte, what has driven you to continue to grow in your leadership roles?
So right now, obviously, I'm leading marketing across Europe for the Logitech business arm, and there's been a number of things. I think, like I said, great leadership is number one. So having leaders that have values that you align with is very, very key, and that's definitely shaped me, my outlook, and my leadership. I think we spend so much time at work that it's super important that that culture is right and that the leadership is right, the values are right, and that they share the same vision as you or stimulate you to go beyond. And because it brings everybody along, obviously, we're serving customers, we're delivering great products, and it impacts everything. So, from my perspective, that's absolutely key. I believe in sort of lifting as you rise as well. So, like I said, I've had very good mentors, but I always try to give back and bring my team along or share my knowledge or share things that I've learned or hints and tips. But equally, I'm still learning. So I always try and look out for ways in which I can improve or learn from others as well, or have mentors myself. So I think it's two-way and twofold in that respect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I love that you included kind of that full package from different vantage points. What challenges have you faced in your position as a leader?
I think I've had a lot. Obviously, I'm in a tech space, and actually within our industry, it's very male. It's definitely better today. But obviously, like I said, when I joined Hitachi as an undergrad and I went to ISE for the first time, Integrated Systems Europe, I looked around and it was just a sea of men. And so being a mixed race female in a very male dominated world, I did question. I thought, is this going to be for me? Is this going to be an industry that I really want to go into? Is this going to be my path forward? But I've always held firm that I really want to pave way for others, irrespective of work, but outside of work as well. And along that journey, even today, I think being a mixed race female within that space is challenging day in, day out. It's getting better, but there is always biases. There's always times where people assume before I've even spoken or make assumptions that aren't necessarily valid. Quite often, for example, being at events or other things, when I've held very technical roles or commercial roles, there's an assumption that I'm a host. That's probably the one that's a bit difficult to stomach sometimes when I've been able to be a product manager, owning a product set, and somebody said, no, I need to find someone that's technical before I've had the chance to even speak. And so I think really it shaped my leadership style in being empathetic, being very, very knowledgeable about my field, making sure that I'm able to substantiate things with facts. And I'm still learning, and things that I really am still challenging myself on now is taking up that space to really challenge and set the examples, lead, and be what I want to see up there when it comes to a leadership figure for my teams and anybody that's coming through in the industry.
Oh my gosh. I just want to keep
It's a
talking
lot.
forever with you. I love that you're taking like things that were challenging to you and pouring it into others and creating that space and probably finding ways to tactfully let people know like you are way more than what they may be assuming.
Mhm.
But not only that, but you're focused forward on how you can make that better for others and open doors and lift them up as well, and I just love that about you. These interviews go by so fast. It's kind of amazing, like, I feel like I'm just getting into the conversation and we're just wrapping up. But before we go, I would love for you to share a piece of advice for our listeners.
Thank you. Okay, so I think so there's two things actually. Ironically, I've just come back from a meeting with our ERG, which is called Logib, and which
Mhm.
is a group for the kind of underrepresented Black minority groups within our company. And obviously, we just come off the back of Black History Month, I think, in the US and International Women's Day. So there's so much going on and so much to sort of stimulate and support, I think, certainly like women in tech specifically. So my biggest piece of advice right now is to really make sure you're connecting. I think is the biggest one. So being able to join things like EIGs, and actually our CEO Hanneke Fabers just encouraged this actually as part of International Women's Day, but I was already part of one. But it enables you to, I guess, be supported, make connections, talk about topics that are difficult, and helps really give you that backing to elevate yourself. So for me, joining an ERG or even just a women's group or a technology group or an industry group, whatever it might be that's relevant for you to advance yourself is really key. The other one I would say, sorry, I've got two, is to keep learning. Obviously, the biggest trend right now is AI. So there's so many free resources around AI literacy and understanding how AI can really elevate you and move things forward or improve how your productivity is or whatever it might be. Use it as a coach. Really having that AI literacy, I think, is going to be very, very key as we go through the year this year.
I'm glad that you included them both, Charlotte. They both were great pieces of advice. Thank you so much for allowing us to celebrate you as our Woman of the Week. As I said before we got on, this is like the most joyful part of my role here. So, again, just thank you for letting us celebrate you and also share your insights with all of us.
Thank you. Lovely to speak. Thank you so much
Yes.
for your
All
time.
right, community members, please comment, share your insights. I'm sure that Charlotte would love that. And do please give her your high fives. I love that there are so many women out there that want to pour into our communities. This is how we grow and learn together. So until next time, have an amazing week.